We'll see if we do any better this time. Well, today is Sunday, so it might be hard to reach people, even though it is existing numbers.
Hi, you've reached Brighton Farms. Can't come to the phone right now. Please leave us a message.
I reached a farmer. All right. Who knows? Maybe they're working too. Okay. Or unless if that was their last name, I don't know. One thing, the idea is not just smile and dial. That used to be a saying. I have tried to think it through and come up with something I'm hoping it's going to work. Do I have bad reception or why is it so slow with calling? Sometimes, sometimes I don't hear a ring, but they do or something, and end up talking to them without knowing that it rang. Oh, did you hear about this guy who wants to? I guess that's not working. Wants to put up satellite for internet all over the world, like just I guess around the world, floating around, so that everybody has internet. And then there's I've seen on LinkedIn uh, they want to reduce the prices of a smartphone. I don't know about the products, but the services, right? So that you don't have to pay a couple $100 every month just to have a cell phone. And I guess there'll be a lot of people who will be happy with that. I think internet all the way around the world, uh, in all areas, even in the rural areas. I always say out in the country, but I guess some people call it rural. Uh, then I don't know. I'm thinking phones will get replaced. Like we're gonna, it's already like a computer. Can do more than a computer. Older computers anyway. So, and the internet is where you save your stuff in clouds and stuff like that. So,
Hello.
hi. Did you hear on the news what HTC is doing?
Hello?
Hello. Did you hear on the news what HTC is doing?
No, I can't understand you. Sorry, I can't understand you.
Yeah, on the news. HTC. Did you hear what they're doing?
HTC?
Yes.
I have no idea what HTC even is.
Ah. Before I get off the phone, may I ask you three questions?
Sure.
What do you think about more businesses in Canada and jobs?
So where?
More businesses in Canada and jobs. What's your opinion about that? Okay, so he knew that was a cold call. I don't think it was a hearing difficulty. I think that was more of I was speaking too fast, and it almost worked. Uh, the problem was I was speaking too fast, and he did sniff it out that it's a cold call. It to me it sounded like they're actually having lunch or something. It sounded like in the kitchen, somebody was doing some things there. So it is Sunday, so I think we can expect that too. Um, he didn't even want to know who I was and things like that, which is fine. So, and that doesn't mean it didn't work. It's a good chance that that's the end of it. He did repeat back to me HTC. Um, if he's gonna look into it later, or like, what's this HTC stuff all about? He might. And then with the copywriting they have and different things like that, uh, depends where he's at. Maybe it's something he needs. Uh, so right now it's an introduction. Uh, it's not that I have to finish this. It doesn't. Uh, I got the message out. That company. Uh, we didn't have really anything else. So to me, um, I'm thinking he didn't want to, like, I don't know. Maybe they're having a gathering. Maybe they're having lunch, and his plate of food is on the table. Who knows, right? So he wanted to excuse himself, and what he did, he just hung up, which is fine, right? Um, a lot of times I don't even answer the phone if I don't know the number. Uh, Not everybody's the same. Some people they think they have to answer the phone if it rings. Mm. So that was that one. Uh, I'll mark it so that I don't phone it again. I'm not trying to spam anyone. I'm not uh, irritating or any of that stuff, right? So what I'm doing is let them know about one company, and I'm not doing a sale. I'm not telling everything about it, or excuse me. Um, I'm introducing, and I think the best way to look at it is that was a success. What would be really awesome is if they wanted to know everything about it and they wanted to buy it on first call and things like that. I don't know if there'd be one what would go like that. I would definitely have to know how to do uh, cold call, copywriting, and closing. And I'm not saying just knowing all those things. I'm saying put that all into one phone call. And that's something very few have been able to do. And that was not through a phone call. That was on stage. Let's say, for example, Elon Musk with his new vehicles, or they introduce, oh look, this is a new product on but never existed before. Or Steve Jobs with his what was that music device? It already seems outdated. Um, it's already in your phone now and things like that. And then he came up with the iPhone, right? And things like that. And that's where it was introducing and letting them people know about it. So I call it copywriting, but it could be other things. Uh, and and then he also did the close, all there on stage. So it's possible. I don't think somebody want to get a phone call and go through that whole thing on a phone call. That I'm not sure if it's possible. That would have to be that they really look up to you or something, right? I don't know what. That would have to be a skill. It's a skill I would like to have, but I don't know if that would be easy to get or create. And I find a lot of companies or a lot of people in sales don't know anything about sales. Uh, they just want you to buy it and that's it. They don't want a conversation. They first want to know if you have the money and all that. Oh, and yeah, they'll have the money, and if they think they'll even try to judge you if by looking at you, right? Oh, what you're wearing, how do you behave? Does it look like you have cash hanging out your pocket and things like that? What came to my mind just now is I seen a video. I don't know who it was. They had Lamborghinis and Ferraris and not even sure what they had, but some nice cars and a nice place and things. Anyways, he went to Lamborghini dealership and he thought it would be a cool YouTube video, so he dressed up raggedy and tried to appear that he had no money whatsoever. He got to the dealership and they served him like if he was a king there. He could test drive the vehicle and everything. Like then he goes and buys it, and he says, "Why did you guys treat me the way you did, even though it looked like I had no money and things like that?" And their policy, what they had said on that video, their policy, because this is his answer, their policy is that they treat all customers the same. I think a lot of people in sales, a lot, can learn from Lamborghini's sales team. I know you want to find out if they have the money or not, and you don't want to waste your time if they don't. And I think Lamborghini, the way they do business, they're onto something. And with doing it that way, I'm sure he had to have a valid driver's license and things like that, but they didn't have to try to find out how much money he had. And I don't know, like a lot of times you have your own group you hang out with. So if it's not people similar like you, then you probably don't hang out with them. Well, with the world connecting more so and more so all the time, I would say someone who would walk into Lamborghini dealership or a place like that, even if they had no money, and they would take it for a test drive, they'd show their driver's license, they'd do everything except for buy the car. Those same people will be hanging out with people who can buy that car. So why would you not treat that person properly and give them the same luxury service as someone who would come buy the car? What is he going to say with the group? What can come and buy the car? He will talk about his experience, right? And with now what everyone's learning, people are buying with emotion more so than with logic. Sometimes you can think of logic before and all that. That comes down to then, okay, who are you going to choose from, right? If there's competitors. And I don't know how Ferrari does it. Maybe they do the same. Let's say Ferrari does not, just for an example here, Ferrari does not treat people very well. Even those who have more than too much money to buy that car, they could go buy a rocket and who knows the world. If they got treated badly as well, because this person who was serving what didn't know, um, they wouldn't want to buy it. Maybe they'll change their mind. Okay, I don't want Ferrari. I'll go to Lamborghini. The cars, they have their differences, but I want a sports car, it's street legal. So I'll go to whoever I want to buy from. It's not only the product; it's also from who you're buying. And like I was saying, someone who is going to go through all that, go to Lamborghini, go into the dealership, do everything so that like the driver's license and check out their cars and go for a test drive with them in it or whatever, all those things, and can't afford it. Why would that person do it? And the answer is because he's in a group who can afford that. Probably every individual can buy a Lamborghini, if not three. If he's in a group who cannot even dream about it, I don't think that person would come into Lamborghini and take it for a test drive. Unless if he's really working on himself to get into a group who can. And that he's changing his own way of thinking. So therefore, what I am getting at here is, regardless who comes, treat them all the same. Lamborghini's rule. Treat them all the same. And I think real estate is something they definitely could learn from that. Definitely. Everyone so far, what I have contacted, I've talked to many real estates. They have lots of room for improvement. Lots. So in the future, just to make it a little bit more fun, I'm going to put on some of those real estate calls, and that's not to run them down, but I'll show you what I'm talking about with where they need to learn a lot, and it's right from hello all the way until the pay. So home buying should be a better experience than it is. If you have to pay the house first before you can go look at it, or even before you can talk to them about buying a house, that they already have to have a paycheck. Anybody who gets into real estate, what does it the way Lamborghini does their sales, that one real estate company could have more than enough business and outrun any business or any real estate they'd want to. The only reason why they can do the way they are doing it is because everyone else is doing it the same way. You have a few who do it another way, where it's service to the customer. Then once everyone knows who to reach out to have a better experience of buying and things like that, why would you go to a real estate who's wants money first before you can even say hi to them, right? So that's definitely going to change, and that's what I'm working on, is build a whole team on real estate for that. Right now, I'm not trying to be actual real estate. I'm just buying and renting out properties. Um, I guess once I get a big enough team, maybe I'll have within my own company, I'll have real estate as well. Um, I just see there's a big need for it, and if nobody does it, maybe I will. Let me try another number. I had dialed it here anyway, so let's see how it goes.
Hello?
Hello. Did you hear on the news what HTC is doing?
No.
Before I hang up, may I ask you 3 questions? Before I get off the phone. I gave her the idea of hanging up because I misspoke. Doesn't matter. So, one thing to remember in stuff like this, when you make calls like this, and you make mistakes or people aren't interested or whatever, you can think of it as, now that's maybe it's unexpected, right? Like if, let's say for example, I'm making calls here and someone would call me for something else, you know, naturally I'd want to do the same thing. So I can also work on, see if I can change the first question to something else so that it doesn't do that. Right now I'm not going to yet. I don't know how many calls you would need to find out. Because I'm trying to create curiosity here. So I could come, well, how about you guys comment below and suggest what could be said to create curiosity. What I could say that someone would want to be on the phone and things like that. I don't know why. Like I'm totally fine with this, but when I was going to start, just a few minutes before I started, I got nervous and I was like, now I'm wondering, am I having the wrong tonality? Am I speaking too fast? And what I'm wondering, does it sound needy? Do I sound needy when I am talking to someone here? When I phone someone, because you don't want to sound needy. Anything needy, it doesn't matter if it's money or anything else. Anything needy is rejection. Before you do anything, if you're needy, it's rejection. The answer is no, I don't want, get away from me, bye, whatever. Needy, nobody wants. And I'm gonna rewatch this myself as well to try to see how I come off. Feedback definitely will be very beneficial to see what others find it to be. I could, if I want to experiment, I could call and then try and then ask them how did it sound and things like that. That it's like, yeah, as long as I don't say how did you feel, people don't want to tell you their feelings, especially not on a cold call. So to get the feedback from that person you just talked to would be probably the most beneficial uh, if they're honest and things like that. Sometimes it's better not to know. And in cold calls, the, the biggest thing to remember is next. That's one word you need to remember is next. Doesn't matter. Um, they've been actually very nice to me. And nobody swore at me. Nobody was screaming. It was just a hang up. It's actually saving me time, except for me talking. Uh, with the hang ups like that, I could just go to the next call. And I get another hang up, next call. When you look into copywriting, let's say for example you reach out to 100 people through copywriting, if it's email or whatever it may be. 20 people check it out, and one person buys. I'm not going to say that's exactly how it always goes. It just gives you an idea. The same thing will be in calls, like the cold calls. So if I did 100 calls, 20 people check it out, and one person buys. Now I should find out, it probably isn't important, but I'm curious. For example, 5 minutes per call. I did every 5 minutes I call another person. Times that to 100. And that's how long it would take me to make one sale. Yeah, I'm not sure. I might do it that. Actually, I'm starting to like the idea already. Let's say I won't tell you exactly when now. Uh, it's a fresh idea. How about I make a video where where I'm not talking like this, and I do straight, just calls. And I'm not sure how many I should do. I'm really interested in the 100. I like that number. That would be a long time. Don't know if I would want to make a video that long. So now it's not that long, is it? 5 times 100 divided by 60. I hope I'm doing my math wrong, because how do people make 500 calls a day? It can't be 5 minutes long then. Let me use the calculator, because this is 5 times 100. That's minutes. And then you divide it by 60 to make it into hours, right? Well, that's embarrassing. I'm coming up with 8 hours. Well, anyway. So I'm not gonna make no video 8 hours. Well, yeah, I don't even know if I have enough battery for that, or memory even in my camera. Definitely not on a Sunday because yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody's bored on a Sunday and they want to talk to somebody and whatever. Who knows, right? So let me see here. Oh, that's why it's yeah, no. I was gonna try to do another call on camera so that you guys could see one more. Okay.
We're sorry. The number you have dialed.
Okay, fine. I don't know. I think this is gonna be a long video already. So see you tomorrow, and I will continue doing this tomorrow. And I'm working on giving you more calls. You could see two calls I got through, and that's a bit of an improvement for the video. I'm planning on doing more and more. That I can put on camera where you guys can see how that goes and enjoy it as well. This way, a lot of guys have gone door to door and things like that. I think it's a good idea to become in sales if you do it the right way, because business relies on sales a lot. Without sales, you have no business. Like you can't. You don't have expenses. You don't have an income without sales. You have to be able to sell your service or your product or whatever it may be to do business. If you have a product, you're gonna have expenses of making a product and things like that, or buying it to resell. And right there, you need to sell, right? If you have a service and if you use tools and things like that, you have to buy the tools. If you go from location to location or whatever it may be, you have expenses there as well, and even just natural living expenses and things like that. So everything needs sales, and there are many places where you can learn about sales. There's a few places that are really good, and even though you think there are so many people in sales, they're not your competitor. And I'll tell you why. They don't know how to sell. They just want your money. That's not. You're not doing sales if you're just trying to take their money. All right. Anyway, tomorrow another video and more calls.